Hey there guys, Samidian here and welcome to the Universal Pokemon Randomizer tutorial. This is using the Universal Pokemon Randomizer made by DaBombStew, and, well, some people have asked me what exact options I use while playing with the randomizer. So the first thing you need to do, click Open ROM, go find the ROM that you're going to make. I'm going to go with Platinum, and then there are a bunch of options. And scrolling over them gives you about what pretty much explains perfectly exactly what they do. And then once you have the ones that you want, you can click Save Settings or click Load Settings to load ones that you only do, or load the ones that you've already made. And this is the one that I've been using most recently. So the options I have selected: change impossible evolutions. This makes it so that evolutions that just don't work now will have ways to work. Let me see if I can get the thing to show up again. The little tooltip. There we go. These are the exact evolutions that are changed, trade evolutions, etc. For some reason the tooltip keeps going away. That's weird. I don't change base statistics or abilities or Pokemon types, because I just find that not to be fun for the most part. Occasionally I'll get the I'll be inspired to have them on, and then I'll play through the game with it and then get bored with it. Starter Pokemon, random completely. You can also choose random basic Pokemon with 2 evolutions, which is probably a more balanced way to play, but I like having completely random starter Pokemon. Random completely movesets. You can also have random preferring the same type as the Pokemon. And you can also check every Pokemon starts with 4 moves. I don't do that. Trainers Pokemon, random, and I have Rival carries the starter through the entire game. There's also try to use Pokemon with similar strength, but especially in earlier games, this tends to make it so that the early game is very, very similar and repetitive. You're going to get like a lot of Caterpies and Rattatas and stuff like that. And there's also no early Wonder Guard, which is a pain in the butt when it happens, but it only really matters when you have randomized abilities, because otherwise the only Pokemon with Wonder Guard is Shedinja. You also randomize the trainer names and trainer class names. This broke for me in one of the recent updates, my list of names, so I haven't been using this and probably won't anymore, but you can have a text document with different trainer names and trainer class names, and it's pretty fun. Wild Pokemon, set it to random. You can also set it to area 1-to-1 mapping or global 1-to-1 mapping. Basically what this means is each Pokemon, the way it works in the actual game is there are 12 different slots in every single area, and these slots are assigned different percentage values. And certain Pokemon are assigned to multiple of these slots. So if you have area 1-to-1 mapping on, and you're in an area that normally only has 3 Pokemon in it, you will once again only get 3 Pokemon in that area. But if you don't have this on, there will be 12 Pokemon in that area. And explaining fully what this means is probably beyond me right now, but just know that there will be 12 Pokemon in the area if you do not turn this on, per like grass or double grass. And if you do have this on, it will change to however many there normally are. And global 1-to-1 means that if there is a Rattata in an area, it will always be changed to something different, and every other area in the game that also had a Rattata will also change to it. It's complicated, and instead I like completely random. Additional rule, I always have Catch-em-all mode on, which means that every Pokemon will appear at least once in the wild. And I have randomized held items. Static Pokemon, random completely. You can also make it so all legendaries will turn into legendaries, and all normal static Pokemon will turn into other static Pokemon. TMs and HMs, random. There's also a couple of new moves, or new options, which I haven't checked out. TM/level up move sanity. If you select this option, the Pokemon will be guaranteed to learn TMs of moves they learn by level up. Otherwise, God damn it. Otherwise, move compatibility will be left alone or decided randomly depending on your other choices, and keep field move TMs. I don't use these because they're new, and new is scary. TM HM compatibility. If you don't change this, any TM that can normally be learned by a Pokemon, it will still be able to be learned. And I have it random completely, so every single Pokemon has a 50% chance of being able to learn a TM or an HM. And there's also full compatibility, which means everything can learn everything. Move tutors. There are a lot of different move tutors in some of the games. I have it on random and random. It's pretty much the same options as the TMs. In-game trades, randomize both requested and given Pokemon. Nicknames, original trainers, IVs, and items all have randomized things. And field items randomize, which is fun. Key items will still be key items. TMs will still be TMs, but they'll be different TMs. And you cannot get key items or glitch items from this. And there's also some stuff here. Update type effectiveness. I believe this only works in Gen 1, because that's the only game before Gen 6 where type effectiveness was different than later games, I think. So yeah. In Gen 1, the type effectiveness is all wonky and all over the place. If you are not familiar with the old type effectiveness in Gen 1, you'll probably want to click this. There's also update moves, which changes them to the stats of their Gen 6 stats. But it doesn't make them fairy type or anything like that. It just changes the stats. And there's also a legacy option which changes them to their Gen 5 stats instead. Make evolutions easier. I haven't actually seen this one. God damn it, tooltip. If this is checked, Pokemon that evolved at a very high level will evolve at lower levels. Okay. Lowercase Pokemon names, I believe this only works in Gen 1, 2, and 3. Give National Dex at start. It is pretty much required for Gen 3 games to have this selected. There's also a limit Pokemon option, which you can do to limit which Pokemon are available. This functionality will not work correctly with ROM hacks. There's also race mode, which basically is to prevent cheating in races. Randomize hidden hollows. I usually have this on in Gen 5. And no game-breaking moves, which means you can't get Dragon Rage, Sonic Boom, Spore, or any one-hit KO move, period. I don't like this on. Sometimes you get screwed by things, sometimes it happens. So yeah, when you're done, save your settings to whatever settings you want. I already have them saved. Then click Randomize Save, name it whatever. I'm actually planning on using this as a stream. This ROM as a stream, so Platinum Stream, save. And it saves. Save log, which allows you to save a log file of the randomization. I don't usually do that. And then you get a random seed and a config string, which you can use to give other people your exact randomized game, which is cool. Anyway, that's going to do it for my tiny little tutorial. Hope it helped. I've had a couple of requests for my exact options, so yeah. See you guys next time.